This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. Double check your notifications are on, and if you hit that like button, double check it's working properly, because you know these bad actors are working overtime to suppress the channel because they don't want more people becoming aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Guys, listen. These bad actors that are naked shorting AMC, GME, and all these other stocks, they're in deep trouble. The Feds put $140 billion into the bank to prop them up over the last week or so, and the reverse repo is dropping back down to $10.7 billion. Okay, they are in trouble, and they don't hide what they do. We can see it in the dog pool. We can see it in the spoofing. We can see it in the washing. The cat system is exposing all the fraud and corruption. But because they know the SEC, the DOJ, the FBI won't hold them accountable, they continue to defraud retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules with no real consequences. But here's the thing, and I tell you guys this all the time. Once the liquidity runs out, they're going to be in trouble, because the banks are not going to drown with the naked shorters. They're not going to do that. When there is no more money to pay those interest rates that they're paying on those naked short positions, and I believe there are billions of them, when that money's not there anymore, they're going to get margin call. And once the margin call starts, if they don't have the additional collateral, which obviously they do not, have that additional collateral, there will be forced liquidations, and they're going to have to start covering those naked short positions, and a lot of stocks are going to start rising to their true value. And some that was so heavily naked shorted, they are going to mow ass. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about that. That's just how the market works. When you short a stock and people refuse to sell, eventually you end up having to buy it back. And I mean, you can run the Ponzi scheme that they've been running on AMC and GME for years now, where they keep creating more counterfeit shares to cover the old counterfeit shares to keep the Ponzi scheme going. But that Ponzi scheme only works if you have increased liquidity. Once you don't have liquidity, that Ponzi scheme is over. And there's a lot of lawsuits incoming. Matter of fact, I got to give you guys an update on the NWBO lawsuit. I had voted up, but I didn't do it yet. But there's a lot of lawsuits incoming. And these lawsuits, when they get to the discovery phase in front of the judge, that evidence is going to be available for the whole world to see. And that's for the NWBO video. And at that point, the SEC, the DOJ, the FBI are going to be forced to hold the bad actors accountable, because they won't be able to play willful blindness anymore, because the evidence of the fraud, the corruption, the malfeasance, the shenanigans that they've been engaged in, it's going to be public knowledge. Bottom line is this. For the last 5 years, since we've been paying attention, the bad actors have been naked shorting AMC, GME, MMTLP. We're not going to forget about MMTLP, because they were taken advantage of to really a next level. MMTLP on BINI, which was MULN, NWBO, GNS. I mean, the list just goes on. Anytime they find a company that's majority owned by retail investors, they pounce. And all the hanky-panky that the the chairman of the SEC talks about, they're doing absolutely nothing about it. They don't care about fraud and corruption when the victims are retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules, and the ones making the money from the corruption are the 1%ers. When that is a scenario, the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI practice willful blindness. They act like there's nothing to see here. And because they do that, the bad actors double and triple down on the criminality, because they know nobody's really going to hold them accountable. And the bottom line is this. They can only do that in the United States of America. Every other country, they go to jail. They have fined 10x what they made from the criminal activity. And in China and some other Asian countries, you might even lose your life for financial frauds. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think that a reverse repo is running out of money again, even though the Feds put 140 billion in the banking industry? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.